started watching Jason Statham's Shelter last night, but then quickly turned to it watching me. Quickly.
I always love it when I start the mic when nobody's paying
I need time.
attention.
I need time. You got to put time up on screen. If
That's true. That's true. Oh, shit. Hang on. Time.
I thought you said you recorded a new intro.
I did record the new intro. That is the new... Is there a different intro?
Sounds the same.
Sounds the same to me.
What are you talking about?
Did you add an extra note? What are you talking?
What are you talking about? Who said they recorded a new intro?
It was on the text message.
What?
You said something about recording a new intro.
Hey, this is Justin with Technology Rocks. No, I did not record a new intro. I have no freaking clue what anyone's talking about at the moment. But I just want to say hi to everybody. And apparently there's a new intro that's been recorded that I did not release. Did I record a new intro?
That's what the text message said.
All right. Well, we'll have to figure out what the new intro is.
How about hello to my little friends?
Hello to your little friends, or Byron's record turntable impression.
Did you see that cool turntable I sent you?
I did.
That's freaking awesome.
So I had I went to the grid last week to bring one of my colleagues some monoblock stands that he needed for an event, and I hope that event went well. He asked if I could help him change a cartridge on a turntable. And so I was in front of this turntable and opened the cartridge up and was getting ready to seat the turntable cartridge. And he mentioned that it was a $12,000 turntable cartridge. And I said, can you not, can you just not tell me that before I mount the thing? Just let me mount the thing first, and then you can talk about how expensive it is. And guess what? It installs the exact same way as any other turntable cartridge. So that's is what it is. So
he just didn't want you to drop it.
I didn't want to drop it.
But if you'd have dropped it before you knew it was worth that much money, you wouldn't have worried about it.
That's true.
You could have said, I'll replace it for you.
We got everybody in studio today. We got Mr. Grain and Mr. IMAX and Mr. Wallace paying attention as he normally does on his phone. And we're going to start with Byron today. Byron, how has week one been with your kaleidescape? Has it changed your life? Does it feel better since it's taken you almost a week to watch one movie?
Yes, it does.
It took that long to move the couch.
I ain't moved the couch.
You ain't moved the couch yet.
Oh, dear.
Justin been selling me more products. He didn't tell you that part. But anyway, yeah, it's, me and my wife, back to it, me and my wife had a discussion this morning, and we was looking at Kaleidescape sends the emails for what's on sale.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire just came on sale.
So I told her, I say, check it out and see what's on sale. And she was like, oh, this is on Netflix. I say, okay, and what that has to do with it? Well, we can watch it on Netflix. You can't compare Kaleidescape to Netflix. So that brings up a topic. Now, since we had the Kaleidescape, I might have to seriously consider discontinuing my Netflix membership.
Well, it's going up, so why not?
Well, I don't pay the high price fee anyway.
Even the low price is going up.
Yeah, low price
is the new high price.
The low price is the new high price, and you can't get 4K anymore either. They're taking 4K away from the folks that don't have the premium top of the line membership.
I never had 4K.
It's only 1080p and 5.1 or stereo. It's not Atmos or 4K anymore.
I paid the $19.95, whatever you get for $19.95.
Look at us jumping right into the topip. Look at that.
Well, I'm upset. I'm pissed because there's no reason for Netflix to be raising prices.
Do tell, Mr. Raymond.
Sometimes you just got to do what the people want and just not raise prices.
So here's where they're really screwing you, though. $27.99, and then you have to pay for additional streams. Meaning, if you want to watch, I think you get 2 screens in your home for $27.99. It's simultaneous, and then you have to pay $7 for an additional stream now.
Okay, so this is what I have. Right, I have a top tier Netflix subscription.
Right.
and then I pay an extra to have my daughter have her own.
Yep.
Right? And so both of those are going up. So that's an extra $4 a month that I'm going to be paying if I choose to keep it.
Yep.
So
almost $30 a month.
So let me throw this egg out here. Is the 4K stream on Netflix compatible to the 4K on Kaleidescape?
Oh no.
No way.
Absolutely not. Like that's not even a question.
I would know. I don't have a Kaleidescape.
Raymond does not have a Kaleidescape. He does not know. But no, the answer is no.
So
that would be like saying, is a streaming movie better than a Kaleidescape movie?
So for the Kaleidescape owners, the only benefit you're getting from still having Netflix is if you get to watch it on mobile when you're away from home.
So one of the listeners asked if we could do a breakdown of the Kaleidescape real quick, and it's easy to do. I've got the numbers memorized. There's 4 different variations of Kaleidescape. There's the Strato M, which we really don't talk about because it's kind of weird. The Strato M is a 2K player, 512 gig of RAM. It'll hold about 8 movies.
But that 2K is not like a regular 2K. It's a 4K stream that the box is downgrading to 2K.
Right, but I don't even know.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't know.
I mean, 4K is ubiquitous.
So that one's $2,000. So that one's $2,000. There's a Strato M for $3,000, which is what Byron has. That one will hold.
The E.
E. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
E. Thank you. The Strato E is $3,000,
half a terabyte,
and that one holds 8 movies. And then the Strato V is $4,400, and that one holds 18 movies because it's a 1 terabyte hard drive. And then the combos start. So there is an 8 terabyte combo for $8,000, and then an 18 terabyte combo for $9,500.
So you
would you like to make that a combo?
Mm-hmm. We're complaining.
Indeed. Well,
I'm complaining about the price of Netflix, and I'm going to go pay $18,000.
But Ray,
I didn't say 18. No.
Oh, sorry, 8,000. My bad.
8,000.
But back to our comment we shared in the text the other day when I told you I was going to put an M on my Hisense, and you was like, "Why?" But because it's 2K,
so
it's not a true. You know what I'm saying? It's not a true 4K.
Well, neither is the Epson projector. The Epson projector is not a true 4K projector or a native 4K projector. It's using eShift technology to create 4K. That's kind of what the M is doing. And it's at $2,000. So they're trying to make a price point for everyone. To me, they still need a $5,000 to $6,000 box that has storage.
That's great.
Yeah.
Add a remote.
Yeah. And
a remote.
Jesus.
And a remote.
Yes.
Remote.
Yeah.
Remote.
So there you go. You can get into it for $2,000, $3,000, $4,400, $8,000, $9,500, and then it just kind of goes up.
And $50 for a remote
from there, and $50 for a remote. So if you do come to Define Audio Video and do the Kaleidescape Challenge, we will give you and decide you want to purchase a Kaleidescape during the Kaleidescape Challenge. We will give you a coupon for
a free remote.
Not free, no, $100 worth of movies is what we're doing right now through Kaleidescape. So,
damn, I missed out.
Yeah, you missed out.
Just return it and then buy it again.
But you got a free remote. That's fine.
I didn't get a free remote.
Oh,
I paid $50 for the remote.
There you go. Well, you got a free amplifier. It's fine. All right.
I got a free conversation. I did, and I got a free conversation.
He stole the amplifier, to be fair. He said he wanted to borrow it to try it out, and then
he asked me did I want it.
And then it didn't came. Well, yes, but I didn't, he never offered to pay for it. So technically that's still theft.
I'm an honest thief.
Yes.
I told you I was stealing and I took it.
There you go. Hey. I mean, he looked you right.
All right, so Byron's enjoying his Kaleidescape. His wife sounds like his wife's buying more movies than he is.
I was going to say, how many does his thing hold? 8, you said. So tell us what 8 movies you've currently got on there.
I got more than 8. So,
but what's loaded on there? What's Kscape worthy?
The very first movie I ever purchased was F1.
Okay,
good man.
And I just finished watching it.
Took him like 4 days to watch.
Then I watched. No, I take that back. F1 was the second movie. The first movie was Jason Statham. Not Jason Statham.
Top Gun.
No, Amateur. With Lawrence Fishburne and Remy Malik.
Yeah. Okay.
Amateur. So that was the first one.
It was okay movie.
F1 was the second. The third one was not the third one because I just got it. What the third movie was? Oh, my wife bought Mary freaking Poppins.
Oh, my wife bought Mary Poppins.
How many movies?
It's a jolly holiday
Again,
for Mary.
Huh?
Is
How
that
many movies
three
is
he's got?
8.
8 movies.
No.
So if you want to buy more, it just stays.
Hey! How come you leave out Top Gun Maverick?
I did buy that. So I'm gonna tell you what happened yesterday.
He doesn't like to talk about Maverick because every time he says Maverick, it costs him money.
So I bought. Actually, I bought Jurassic World Rebirth.
That was a good one. I actually liked that one. That was a good movie.
I've seen it.
I really like Scarlett Johansson in that movie. I just like Scarlett Johansson in every movie, but
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
and I bought Hancock because I did a digital coupon for Hancock.
Oh, Hancock is good.
I did a digital coupon for Ray, Training Day, Hustle and Flow, and so I bought Shelter with Jason Statham and Amateur, the one I was telling you about, and I bought Top Gun as a momentum because it was on sale. That got me.
Did you buy the double pack or did you just buy Maverick?
I just bought Maverick because as a momentum, that's what got me started on this deep hole down dive. And
So what happens to all the other movies
so
if you buy?
they stay in the cloud. So if you buy a movie, as soon as you buy a movie, if you got space, it's downloaded to your box. If you don't have space, you go and pick if you want to remove a movie from your box. If you don't, it just stores them in the cloud until you're ready for them.
Okay.
Now, it takes about 5 to 8 minutes per se to download to the box.
That's not dial-up.
No, it's not dial-up. You don't hear no shh, ding dong, ding dong.
I don't know what kind of modem you had.
Sounds like
That third 3.6.
That's kind of sounds like your record player
Crackle.
impression, though. Okay, so you got Maverick. Speaking of Top Gun, James Tolken passed away over the weekend. That's the you're writing checks that your butt can't cash guy on the original Top Gun, and then he was Principal Strickland on Back to the Future. So he passed away.
Yeah.
He was kind of the ultimate between him, Robert Duvall. Robert Duvall's also, he passed away not too long ago, but he was always kind of the ultimate antagonist. You know, it's like you almost wonder if he really was a principal or a admiral in real life, because he just seems like he would have been good at all of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him as an actor. I just I can't think of any other movies that he was in other than those two. I mean, I'm sure I've seen him in plenty of movies.
He was in a lot of westerns. He was in a lot of western movies and a lot of TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, which is weird.
And he was kind of, I want to say he was cast type. It was one of those things where he was
Or typecast.
That was what I was trying to say. Thank you. Let's go look at that up.
Hey, you got a phone look like mine.
I know. Look at that. He got his new phone out and everything, looking all
No
blue
case, still caseless and naked.
shiny.
Where's the case?
I haven't put the case on. I just enjoy having a naked phone.
Did you receive it?
Yeah, but mine's naked, look. But it's got a case.
But you're not like Justin, though, because
War
Justin is
Games.
gonna
I didn't know
break-
he was in War Games. Apparently, he was in War Games. Masters of the Universe. Forgot about that one.
He was a cop.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, he was in a lot of the same Back to the Future 1, 2, and in fact, he was one of the few characters besides Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd that were in all three Back to the Futures. Dick Tracy, Problem Child. You know what? Strangely enough, he wasn't in a lot of movies. But the ones that he was in, I remember,
made him memorable.
Yeah, well, I remember he was at Comic-Con back when we were reporting on Comic-Con and current events and things like that. He was one of the guest speakers there last year, I think. Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Technology Rocks. We have now passed the 1 year mark. Today was our official birthday when we actually started the show.
Yay!
So,
the good old days.
the good old days.
So, Ray, I make you laugh. So, yesterday, I took my son to a college to visit for football as a recruitment trips. So we walk in, and in front of the cafeteria, there has a sign say "Now showing Maverick." I text Justin.
Can't get away from it.
I text Justin a picture of it. I say, somebody finna get got.
Yeah, can't. He's gonna go. Hey, who put this down?
It's haunting you, man. It's gonna just be
Follows him everywhere. It was probably the best movie in the last 10 years. You know, it's just Maverick was so well done.
And F1.
Well, I mean, F1. Yeah,
F1 was,
you're getting into weird territory again.
What do you mean?
Well, because I mean, you know, Ford versus Ferrari, probably one of the.
I said one of the best. I didn't say the best.
Well, usually when people say one of the,
it's the best.
I thought
No.
you said last year.
yeah,
That's bullshit.
usually-
That's bullshit.
Oh, what?
No. That's bullshit.
Somebody's upset.
No, I'm not upset, and I'm going to call you out on it.
Do
It's
it.
going to be, I'm totally going to do it right now. So when I say it's one of the best, that means there is a plate full of things, and this is one of those things.
Is it a plate with a 3?
No.
Ray,
Is
that's
it
I
like
just
4?
said, no, I just said it is one of the best movies of
that's
the
like,
decade.
That's like when you're talking to that woman. Girl, you one of the best women I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. So that means there's been a lot of them, and she is one of the best.
But she ain't giving her top props. She just let her know she's in the running.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything in the top 50 is one of the best. Anything in the bottom 50% is one of the worst.
But that's
There
so
you go.
vague. It's so vague when you
It's
say
not
one of
so
the-
vague.
You know, what it sounds like. Okay, because you came at me, I'm coming at you.
Okay, go
All
for
right,
it.
You know
Come
what?
at me.
You know what you sound like.
What do I
You
sound like?
I don't know if you watch a lot of sports, but I watch a lot of basketball, and when you're watching
I don't
national
watch stage
hold
things.
on. When you're watching those things, the commentators always say, "He is the best to ever do it," and then the next game,
I would
with
say
somebody
that about
else,
Michael
he is the
Jordan.
best. Michael Jordan is the best.
I know.
Not he is, right?
I just
He
said
is
that.
the best. Okay.
I just said
Well,
that.
what I'm
You
saying.
just said the same thing.
Hold on, man. I didn't interrupt you when you were going on the little tyrant rage.
All right, come on.
down.
Come at me.
Your hair-
I'm
your
still
hair
waiting.
can-
I'm still waiting
But
for
you're-
you to swing.
You can't.
You haven't swung
you
at me
say-
once. I'm just waiting for you to do. Come on, let's do it.
His hair's getting in the way.
I know.
The thing is,
You're
the
just
problem
jelly.
Is, no,
Don't
not
be
at
jelly
all.
of the hair.
Oh, dude, don't say that. You're too old for that. But the thing is my point is that everything can't always be one of the. Why don't you say it's
I
the
said
second best
one-
movie
why?
ever?
Why not?
It's the third, one of the third best movies. one
No,
of the
I
fourth
said
best
one of the best.
one of the top 50 best movies ever created.
I wouldn't give it that.
So it's not one of the best.
Never mind.
No, I said in the last 10 years.
So okay,
He gave,
all right.
he gave,
In the last
he gave a
10
yearly
years.
variable.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt and say, guess what I'm watching at the minute?
Highlander.
No.
Something with Queen.
One of the best.
One.
Something.
Damn, I struck out twice.
Something that's been on my list to watch for a long time, and it's been prompted to get on and watch it because I bought it all on Blu-ray. It's a TV series and a movie, and they're going to make an animated version of it with the original actors doing the voices.
Oh, Serenity.
Firefly.
But when is it? But is it in production or no?
I don't know if it's quite in production just yet, but it's certainly being touted as going to happen.
Is that one of the best TV shows ever created?
That was one of the shortest TV shows ever created.
Yeah, I
6 episodes.
I don't know.
No, I think it was like 14, but it was still cut after season 1. Way
They only
too
showed.
early.
I think
Yeah.
they only showed 10. Actually, showed 10 on.
Right.
Okay, so
TV.
I'm going to throw a
They
spoiler out.
pissed a lot of
right?
people off with that too.
So the movie, am I not? Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it,
I kind of know storylines.
You're talking about Serenity?
arcs.
Oh, I love
The
that
movie
It's a great
comes
movie.
somewhere in the series. It
Definitely
doesn't
not
come at
one of
end.
the best in the
Okay.
last 10 years.
so how do they bring back Alan Tudyk?
It's probably a prequel, I would
No,
assume. or a
the movie fits somewhere inside the TV series, and I haven't exactly worked out what order you're supposed to watch it in, because people on Reddit and all other places are all arguing about, you should watch this and this and this, and then you should watch this one because that one should have been at the end because that was the one that they recorded. I don't know. It gets confusing, so I'm just going to watch it in the order it is on the disc.
So you haven't seen Serenity?
No.
So they're pulling the Tokyo Drift.
That's
what they're doing.
They are.
Okay.
They're bringing Han back.
It's it's like alternate universes with Deadpool and Wolverine and all those weird things that go on. It's like, let's just, we can bring him back because the actor himself isn't dead. So
it's true. You got it. Yeah.
Fringe was a bit like that.
I think that's the only one. I think that's the only way they really could bring them back because they've all aged so much now. I mean, what was it? What was Firefly 20 years ago? Something like that.
Yeah.
It was like 99, 2000, or 26 years ago.
Yeah, it was early aughts, as they say.
Oh, so it was early 2000s.
Something like that.
Okay. So about 20 years ago. Yeah, no, so, yeah, because Nathan Fillion, he was just a baby when he was in that, that show.
He looks cute compared to what he looks like now in The Rookie, and even what he was in Castle. It's like, I like him, so I'm watching it.
He played Green Lantern, didn't he? In
he did the voice.
The Superman movie?
Well, he played a Green Lantern.
A Green Lantern. I haven't seen that Superman.
So that's what I'm watching.
One of the best Supermans.
Was it one of the best movies?
No,
of
it wasn't.
No. Was it one of the best movies of the decade?
Looking forward to a couple of movies.
But I'll give you Ford versus Ferrari because I'll give you that one. Sorry, Ian, I cut you off.
Yeah.
No, that was a good movie.
You just can't let it go.
I can't. No, it pissed me off. It's like, why can't I say it's one of the best in the decade?
Anyway, I'm looking forward to...
Let it go, Lou. Just let it go.
Ray and I were chatting long before you got here.
All right. Let's hear about a chat between you and
you don't want to hear
Raymond.
about that chat.
Oh, dear God.
No, not that chat. The other one. The one about the movies. One that we both want to see, which is coming out in a couple of days, is the new Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
Mario
Is
Brothers
that one
Galaxy or
Kaleidescape worthy?
something.
I didn't see the
That
first
one's just
one. Was it
worthy.
good?
It was amazing.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to download. I was really considering downloading that one on the Kaleidescape because it looks like it would be really good.
It's just funny, man. Like,
Chris Pratt does a good job, I think. Yeah.
I mean,
all those Nintendo nerds out there, there's a character coming back. He's in the movie, and apparently they're going to bring a game out.
Yeah, Star Fox.
Yeah, Fox McCloud.
Yeah, he's playing Glenn Powell.
Yep.
Yeah, Glenn Powell is playing Fox McCloud. He's playing Star Fox. Yeah.
Yep.
They're trying to springboard to see if there's enough interest to do a Star Fox movie, which will be interesting.
But they're bringing out a new game on Switch next year.
They just
a reboot.
A little bit.
So Byron and I were talking about the Switch 2, and so there was a rumor that the Switch was being discontinued, and it's actually not true. What they had said is that the Switch 2, they're scaling back on production because it did not launch as hard as they wanted it to.
No, because
they didn't move as many units as they wanted.
They haven't actually brought out a whole slew of games for it, and it still plays Switch games, and it's like, why would you play Switch games on a Switch 2 when you can play them on Switch?
PlayStation did the same thing.
Yeah, but what the Switch 2 did is that they added that stupid card key that you have to use, and it's dumb. It's like the stupidest thing you can do on a console.
Card key? What's that?
Yeah, so some games you have to download it, and in order to unlock it, you have to buy it, right? Like normal, but you have to use a cartridge to put into the Switch, and then that would allow you to, play the game. It didn't do how are you going to create something, that doesn't have, an OLED screen that you did with an upgraded or an updated original Switch. Like why are you keeping technology from a new product that, you went out and you did all these things with it and made the controller a mouse, and just, I mean, they made it bigger. It's a nice unit, but I wasn't out there looking for it. Just because of everything that they could have done, they didn't do.
I think they tried to use the Sony philosophy. You remember when Sony made PS4? They had a big PS4. And then they came back and made a smaller PS4 that sells twice as many units as the big PS4.
Right. Well, they did that with the 3.
Right.
The PS3 as well.
Yeah. So I think Nintendo say, oh, we're going to try to learn from Sony and try to do the same thing, but it bombed.
Yeah.
You know what I do hate about the new iPhone? I can't
things.
I can't use my same passcode. It makes me use a longer numeric passcode.
No, it don't.
No, it doesn't.
No, it don't. You can put a 4-letter passcode in there.
Oh, okay.
You just go into the.
I've almost locked myself out of my phone like 10 times. You're like talking about Sony and stuff. All right. So moving into.
Did you not set it up using your old phone to transfer?
It wouldn't let me.
Oh.
No, I did use it. Oh, you did get your kaleidescape remote, didn't you? All right. So sorry, I'm all over the place. I just got done doing an event, and
You want to tell Ray how you sold me more equipment?
my brain's quiet. I didn't sell you more equipment. You took equipment.
What did you get?
What did he take?
What did you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I got something and I took something. No, I ain't gonna say took. That's such a strong word. Let's say acquired.
Acquired.
You took
Gracefully, I gracefully
so you
acquired.
Stole it.
Look, I got a phone call.
You took the liberty.
I got a phone call. Dude, man, I got this great amp that it's old, but it's clean. It works good. I said, all right, I'm going to come check it out. It's a B&K 2220 amp. It's like 220 watts a channel. It's like it's not a mono block, but it's two channel amp, and it's 220 watts and 8 ohms per channel. And so I come over here and look.
Is that why you were asking me about the ohms?
Well, that's
we're
gonna get to that.
Okay.
That was a thought. But so I got the amp. I was like, cool. My old amp and my old 2-channel amp was only 100 watts a channel. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna see if it's gonna, because I got them on my front 2 channels, my front 2 speakers. I'm gonna see if they wake him up. So I come. He was nice enough to clean it out for me and had it all looking.
Oh no, I was not nice enough to clean out for you. I was just cleaning it out. Let's not get that twisted.
Hey, he thought he was gonna sell it. That's what he was cleaning out.
Let's not get that twisted. And I would have sold it that day, actually, because somebody asked if it was available.
But where was it located when it was when they asked that question?
Huh?
Where was it?
Yeah, you already stole it.
It was already in your.
It was already installed, rolling.
Okay.
So
you stole it.
So anyway, I come and got it. And
notice how he doesn't answer the question.
I hooked it up, and it makes a difference. And so it even has, because right now I got RCA cables running to it, and I bought the XLR cables. Because
he bought the XLR cables for his stolen amplifier.
How much does he owe you for it?
He didn't. He stole it.
In.
According to my inventory, it's still an inventory.
Don't touch that. Let's go. Move next topic.
All right.
So along with that, I purchased a Paradigm Founder Series center channel.
Yes, that I also didn't make anything off of.
But he hooked me up. I have to give credit where it's due.
Only at Define Audio.
Only at Define.
Yeah, let's not advertise that. Yeah, I stole an amplifier from Define Audio.
Well, look, it gets worse than that.
Then I bought a center channel. He hooked me up with a center channel. That's not how you keep Define Audio in business.
Well, look, yesterday when I went on the recruitment trip, one of the players who transferred in was giving the
Ian, how's your room cleaning coming?
Wow, look at that.
I'm one of those wait for the last minute type things, so it's not exactly ready, but I haven't been given the last minute yet.
What are you talking about last minute? I told you it was ready for delivery. You just got to tell me when you want the delivery.
Well, you tell me when.
It's going to be delivered.
We need to take that away from him.
Yes. I want it like yesterday.
You wanted it like yesterday?
Anyway, well, don't you dare.
Okay.
Put a Band-Aid over that one. Anyway, I wanted it. No, I don't know. I'm not in a rush, but if you...
I'm not in a rush, but I wanted it.
Yes, get it.
it's going to go back on back order, then you're going to really want it.
No, I need a plan. I need a plan.
You need a plan.
I haven't got anybody to make a plan.
Oh, well, you know people. You're
Yeah.
sitting around 3 people. I mean, apparently,
Well, we're going to make a video of installing it and all that sort of shit. Because you didn't press the button in time.
no, sorry. There you go.
Yep. Anyways.
Well, I let it fly at Ray, and I
Oh,
dropped
man.
a couple SHI bomb diggities there and didn't
It touched
hang
the
on.
nerve. Touched the nerve on him. Keep going. Going.
All right, there we go.
You got
Wait.
credit. You got credit now.
One more just for credit.
You got
Yeah.
credits now.
Yeah. Something that occurred to me yesterday while I was reading about these Nintendo things, the Switch.
So is there any other movies on the Switch thing? Was there any other movies you were interested in besides Mario, or is that what
Project
just
Hail Mary?
That one looks good.
And I think
Maybe one of the best.
I think it's out already. I just haven't. I need a plan.
Yeah.
So-
The top 1,000.
So Project
at
Hail
best.
Mary,
Yes, it's in the top.
Mario Brothers, anything else?
The Sheep Detectives when it comes out. Well, that's not for a little month or two.
Okay. Spider-Man comes out in July, and then the
Yeah.
Doomsday comes out in December.
December.
So they're making a Spider-Man 4?
Yeah. They're making a...
Too many Spider-Man movies.
I'm gonna wait before I buy the collection. Then
It's all
I got
too
2 of the 3 already. I own 2 of the 3s, but
There's like 15.
the latest, the last. last bit.
Yeah. No. So okay. So your Switch. Sorry, I cut you off. Correct, your Switch.
Well, I did actually buy a Switch 2 last year, and my reason for doing that was because
You like Mario Kart.
I like Mario Kart. I've had a Nintendo console of every Nintendo console they've
So-
ever brought out.
That's something they just discontinued is the Mario bundle. They just took the Mario bundle off offline.
You could have got it today if
Really?
you were quick enough on my favourite retail website, Woot, because they had the Mario Kart bundle for $3.99.
Wow. Yeah. No. They just
But it
just
sold out
announced
in
that
like
they're going to pull that off.
30 seconds, I think. Anyway,
That's like my students. They're freaking Nvidia came out with this.
Oh, that stupid video card.
Yeah, and it was like $3,500, and they sat in class all answer. What the hell wrong with y'all? And it's like they finna launch the new video card in like 20 minutes,
And they sold out.
and they sold out in 45 minutes at $3,500 a pop. And 3 of my students sat in the class bought it at $3,500 a pop. You can't make an A in the class, but you could spend $3,500 on a video card.
They
Should've gave them an
spent-
Aegis for
They
that.
spent $3,500 of their parents.
Should've kicked them out.
on a video card.
yeah, you should have expelled them. Anyway, so yes, Mario Kart from its very first version, which wasn't on the NES, it was on the Super Nintendo. But every version ever since. So I had to get a Switch 2 because they brought out the free world driving Mario Kart whatever bundle, and it works. I like it. It's fun.
You like the free world driving thing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it like you could be in a championship thing where you're trying to win a race, but you might be halfway through the race and decide you can just drive out of the stadium and drive off to another part of the planet. It's like kind of weird, but do interesting things like you can drive onto the top of the train.
Is
and then-
Rainbow Bridge still a thing?
I've heard of it. That's a Clancy thing, isn't it?
No, that's the level of Mario Kart where you can.
Rainbow
Road.
World.
Rainbow Road. I'm
Rainbow
sorry.
Road. Yeah. No,
Rainbow Bridge. No, that's in San Francisco, isn't it?
that's actually where
Hey, you've been hanging around me too long.
it's where
It's true.
pets go.
Samsoni.
Rainbow
Is that a
Six.
Samsung?
I was
Logan
thinking
Martin.
of.
Okay.
So right,
Other news, yes, they have scaled back production, but the prices they had brought down slightly, but they are likely to go back up again in the same way that the PS5 has just gone up $100 because of memory shortages, which was another topic we had listed somewhere.
But Ray, back to my 2 ohm question. The reason I asked that question was
dear
because I was thinking,
2 ohms.
me and Justin had a conversation, and
Yes,
I was
what?
thinking that
Meaning he had a conversation about his stolen amplifier.
if you wire a room for 2 ohms, you can save cost on amplification because most amps will put.
The most power at the low amount of ohms.
So that's where the question came from.
This is true, but I got a weapon. But your speakers have to be able to drop down to 2 ohms.
Right.
If your speakers can't drop down to 2 ohms, there's no point. You're just going to be blowing drivers.
Because the general consensus when you in a theater or in the beast or whatever, you turn the volume knob, you in the 60 to 70% range of volume. Where if you get more amplification, you can lower the range of that you normal listening range at, but you have more volume knob to go higher if you choose.
Yeah, but you don't want to. You don't want to mess. I mean,
it also depends on where you're calibrated at too. Like where you're.
I don't know. That's definitely a question. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of people that might have like different answers to that because, you don't want to. Even though your amp can handle the power, doesn't mean that you should make it handle the power, right? Because you do want that headroom. You don't want it to be going like at full throttle.
See, like in my room, comfortable with listening for me is different comfortable for my wife.
Exactly.
I'm in the 63, 64 range. She's down in the 53, 54 range. Where at that range, ain't enough rumble in there for me. But it's just plenty enough for her.
Well, you need to keep like once the room is EQ'd, just control the volume with your volume knob.
That's what I do.
That's it.
That's what I do now.
Like, I mean, because you're not going to be messing with gains on your amp once everything is set.
No.
You don't want your gains to be all the way maxed out.
Right.
I mean, some people put them that way, but
I usually calibrate. If I'm calibrating with white noise, usually where I set my gain level is I calibrate between 80 to 85 dB, depending on room size, comfort level. I don't usually like to go above 85 because that's when you start getting into the dangerous territory. Some people, you see these esoteric systems like JTR or I had just experienced one about a week and a half ago that would go into the 150 dB range, and it was excruciating. I had to, tell him, I was like, hey man, I get it. It'll do whatever you need to do, but I don't. I've always been very protective of my hearing over the years, which is why I gravitate towards some speakers versus other speakers, because a lot of people are attracted to speakers if they have a hearing deficiency because of high frequency loss and things like that. But typically if I'm calibrating with white noise, I will calibrate on an 85 dB scale because that's actually louder than most people can stand it. And then that's where I set my white noise levels, and then I run my sweeps, go in there, check what my white noise levels are at certain dB range and distances and things. But I typically, that's my sweet spot. It's anywhere between 80 to 85.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much OSHA standards anyway.
Yeah.
So 85 dB is the max you would go.
Yeah. No, your low frequency will push the envelope a little bit if it's from time to time, but low frequency is dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as a high or a mid that's into that range.
Well,
but I mean, what is a cinema?
We do it's 88 dB for
low.
For low.
Okay.
And then so it's 88 dB for low, which is what the max that you want to do. 87, 88. And then control everything else from there.
Oh, the refreshing drink of a Dr. Pepper.
Need more subs.
Yeah.
The refreshing sound of a Dr. Pepper.
Did you say subs or suds?
Subs.
Sound like suds.
I need more subs.
Yeah,
I only have 412s. I need more.
It sounds like suds to me. But yeah, no, it's just right now the popular thing to do is to create pressure and to feel that pressure and things like that. Ray is correct. You don't ever want your amps maxed out. You want it again, all goes back to your speaker rating, what your max efficiency is, what your lowest efficiency is, what your lowest amperage is. I mean, if your max power is at 300, I've always liked to go about 20% over that wattage because I get into the good stuff at lower volume, but you also have to be cognizant of that you're breaching max wattage when you're listening to spirited levels, because that's when you start breaking things. I also like to do when I'm calibrating and doing things like that is, or if I'm choosing an amplifier, I never want to be on the lowest end of that spectrum. If I can't afford to get into the max wattage territory, then I usually tell people to say, if you get into even 40 to 50%. So if it's, for instance, if your speaker is 600 watts max wattage, I usually like to say, hey, if you can get it between 300 to 400, you're still okay. It's still what you want. You don't ever want to be in the lowest end of the spectrum, but having too much power isn't always a bad thing. It's just, it creates a situation where you have to be cognizant that you have a lot of power. I've known a guy that he likes to buy amplifiers. Even his high-end speakers were rated at 300 watts per channel, and he bought 1,000-watt monoblocks for it. But then he liked to listen at Earbleed 11, and he ended up blowing all his stuff up all the time. And I was just like, I don't understand. These speakers are junk. It's like, no, they're not junk. They showed you the warning label on the damn speaker. You just ignored it and pushed it to 11.
Yeah, I mean,
blew it up.
So the amp gain, and I'm going to probably contradict myself here a little bit, but I've worked with some of the guys, some of the guys that I've worked with a long time ago.
Contradiction.
Yes, they're what they used to do, and this is mostly, I've only seen this mostly on a QSC amp with they were specific cinema amps, DCMs.
Yep. Wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. What
they would do, what I was taught too, but is we will turn the gain up all the way.
Yep, max the gain and then control it by line. Yeah.
And then once you max the gain, then you go into your EQ and do a parametric EQ. We did both. We did a graphic EQ or parametric, depending on what systems that we had.
Right.
And then you would lower the gains within the software.
Yep.
Right from there, and then that way, you wouldn't have like people who like to fidget, who had and they would go and turn up the gain on an amp or whatever, But those are just the things that we did to keep people from messing with the gain knobs, right?
Right.
But you could do it either way. I mean, you could do it how you want. Me personally, I wouldn't do it because nobody's going to be fidgeting with my gain amps. I mean, my gain knobs.
Right.
Anyways, so.
Gotcha. Well, in most home theater applications, you don't have gain knobs. Whereas a cinema application, you have them.
You do.
You do have them. And, well, actually, some QSC amps, they don't put gain knobs on the front of it anymore.
No, it's all software based.
Yeah. It's
I know
Pulsus or QSys.
Well, the QSys is all done internally, done through software. If I think like most like restaurants or pubs or whatever, they
want to take the gain knobs away. Yeah.
Well, no, it'd be good to use a QSys system than it would be to use a typical.
Why are you throwing a bottle at me? What the hell did I do?
Who said I'm throwing it at you?
Well, you're looking like you're going to throw it at me.
He's not aiming my way.
Oh, no.
So
I'm just waiting for Byron to pick the microphone up that he's holding and try to talk through it.
Yeah,
karaoke.
So
QSys are good.
So switch. So yeah, no 2 ohms. Unless your speaker ohm rating. I mean, his question was based on 4 ohm speakers versus 8 ohm speakers. 4 ohm speaker, you're utilizing more of your amplifier than you are on an 8 ohm speaker. And then he was like, what about 2 ohms? And that's what created the question.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So cost of power, if you buying an amp that is 2 ohm stable, You need less power to drive what you're trying to drive because the speakers are 2 ohms, which lower resistance. You can move more power.
Most of them just aren't built that way.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen.
Magnapan.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But
Well, Magnapans, electrostats were back in the day.
They could go down to 2 ohm?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And some amps aren't what they call even 4 ohm stable, and they dip into the 2s every now and then, which is also why you hurt speakers and pop speakers. So amp pairing and speakers is actually kind of an important thing. Certain amps sound better on certain speakers. I know everybody. There's groups out there that say, "Oh, you're full of crap. You can't hear it." That's it's complete bull, because you can hear a difference on it. I would not put a Bowers and Wilkins with an Anthem. Anthem's a very bright amplifier. Bowers is a very bright speaker. That would be a horrible combination. I would put Bowers with a Macintosh, or I would put Bowers with
because Macintosh is very
very warm and neutral. Marantz is
not the ones I've heard.
Marantz is what speakers did he have hooked up to it?
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Because if you're talking about the Mac with the Mac speakers, I can't say that on air.
That's what I'm talking about. Because,
those are very bright, and that's a
very
weird combination.
Yeah,
that needed to be running through a tube preamp to warm those things up, because those are very, very bright as well. So, but yeah, no, it does make a difference. Paradigm is a neutral speaker. That's why it pairs nicely with Anthem. B&K is a warmer. Marantz is a warmer amplifier brand as well. So
what did you say? You say B&K? That's the name brand of my new amplifier.
I know. It's an amazing coincidence.
What a coincidence.
Coincidence. All right. So moving into a different topic.
I'm going to go back to one I've already been talking about briefly.
Oh, well, Ian has something to say. Go ahead.
No, because you got your finger on that stupid button again. No, it's just a bit more news on the Nintendo games front. Get your finger off that button.
Ian,
behave.
Ian almost cursed. My dear
Well, you had the finger on the wrong button if I was going to curse, so I wasn't going to curse.
Yeah. All right. You may proceed.
For anybody out there who's
What do you have to say, Ian?
a Zelda fan,
Okay, following. Suspenseful pause.
Yeah, which I'm not. I'm Mario World, Mario Kart. Never played Zelda, but 1998 it first came out.
Oh, you're talking about Ocarina of Time, right?
And no,
Was that right?
The Ocarina of Time came out, in 1998, but Zelda is
I just
actually
guessed.
40 years old. The franchise is 40 year old this
golly.
year.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the first one that came out, but it appears that in recognition of the 40th anniversary that they will be bringing out a redo of Ocarina of Time on the Switch 2.
Oh, cool.
So that may boost
One
sales
of the greatest games ever.
Yeah. So they say. I've never played it. And that will replace There was talk about another 3D Mario game coming out this year, but it's not going to.
Wasn't the Ocarina of Time the first time they made Zelda kind of a 3D?
Yeah,
it wasn't a side scroller or a top.
No, it was made for the N64.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
98. So that was all I was going to say. That.
Oh, okay.
And here ends the Nintendo news for today.
Nintendo news for the day. Okay, so a lot of weird things happening in the tech world. I think we just talked about the Netflix prices, where Raymond has said this is ridiculous on the post. Router ban. So the FCC is now banning all foreign-made routers. I was going to cover that for a minute in case people are worried about it. Ian, Byron, do you have any weigh in on those topics?
I don't know. It just seems rather odd to me that the only country in the world that made routers, known as Cisco routers, that had spyware in that they exported to other countries was the United States.
That's
It's
irony. Yeah.
It doesn't apply to any that you already have.
Correct.
And it won't apply to any that get an exception or a waiver.
Correct.
But are there any that have got an exceptional waiver yet? No.
So
if you look at this, what they call the covered list, which is the FCC's directive that says what's covered and what's not, it says all foreign-made routers. There are no exceptions.
right,
Now, where are most routers made?
China.
Including not Echo, what's it called? Eero.
Yep.
So until Amazon get an exception for Eero, they can't import any more.
So
I wonder how they'll get that exception.
How much money they got?
yeah. Well, okay. Byron, do you have anything to weigh in on the router thing?
No, I just think it's.
You don't give two. I don't give no.
I just think it's a money grab myself.
It's definitely a money grab for sure.
That's all it is a money grab.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I think they're just doing it to do it because they can.
Nah, I don't think that either.
All right, please enlighten us.
I will. No, so the security industry went through the same thing about 2 years ago with security cameras, but it was mainly that. Huh?
I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah. So so the security camera, they did the same thing with security cameras and NVRs. This was about 1.5 years ago, and 2 years was it?
It was during COVID when we were.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was. Yes. No. You're right. It was during. Thank you. Yeah. No. It was during COVID. So, here's the interesting part about that. I understand why they did it, and it needed to be done. And because we were going into uncertain times, we're definitely in uncertain times now. And there was two companies, Huawei, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Huawei, Dahua, and Hikvision. Hikvision. So the top tier camera manufacturers for everyone that white label cameras are Dahua and Hikvision, and they were imported by an area of China that was known for putting spyware and different and compromised hardware in these types of systems. So it's very hard to darken the doorway of any of these topics without getting somewhat political. So I'm just kind of surf the wave here for a second.
Walk around that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I'm just going to surf the wave here for a second because there are things, I understand them having restrictions in airports and terminal distribution terminals and post offices and government buildings, military buildings. That totally makes sense. There's no reason not to beef up those particular style of devices for cyber hacking and whatnot. There's two major viruses, and I'll have to defer to Sleepyhead over there or Ian on it. One of them is called Viper. Is that what it's called?
I don't remember all their silly names, but
okay. So one of them,
there's so many.
There's two major ones that are based on infrastructure that are attacking infrastructure security, and what it is it's kind of a rolling code. It doesn't, once it's implemented, it keeps hitting it and doesn't stop. It rolls to the next one, hits it, doesn't stop, rolls to the next.
Sound like back in the day when they had stucknets.
Well, it's exactly what it is. So moving into that. All right. So fast forwarding through all the security camera crap. So what they did there was a good thing. They should have done it, and it needed to be done, and it was a good thing. They needed to beef up those particular systems and subsystems to where, in a lot of times when you call a surveillance company, if you can't get into ladies and gentlemen, NVRs are made to keep people like even us locked out of them. Okay.
I can attest to that because I did it multiple times.
And we'll get to the next point in a second. So, I can attest to that because I broke into one right after I stole my amplifier. All right. So going into that,
just means I'm good at what I do.
That's true, and he's a thief. And so moving past,
man, don't go to jail for stealing. You go to jail for getting caught.
So getting past that, I don't see it as a bad thing. I didn't see it as a bad thing. Now let's go to the router ban thing. Now, if you were telling me that they were cracking down on this stuff because of government facilities, then it would be one thing, but they're not. So it's all routers. So here's the thing. I've talked to 3 insiders that I know of that work, one that works for Eero, one that works for TP-Link, which, by the way, they're the ones that are getting hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And then one that works for Netgear. They all said the same thing. They all knew this was coming. So this isn't something that the orange man that everybody hates upstairs it just said, oh, we're going to do this to do this. So you have to get that crap out of the way before you can discuss that topic. Because here's the thing. They knew it was coming because they have a problem. And that's the thing. There is a problem with the current routers that are coming into this country that are no longer meeting those FCC requirements because of these. And I'll look them up in a second. There was 3 viruses that are made to attack infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, I'm talking about cell networks. I'm talking about cell phones. I'm talking about hospitals, big infrastructure things that could be catastrophic if these things are hacked into and shut down.
But speaking from a little man's point of view, since when I need the government to help me protect my network?
But it's not. You don't. But it's not just that. It's when you're looking at you do need some form of security. But I mean when you look at the big picture of it, right?
Oh, it's a money thing.
It's a money thing.
But it's not just a money thing.
Well, no.
But you got common sense of your network. Now, if you buy a piece of equipment, if you don't have the common sense to lock down a piece of equipment to protect what you got hanging off the equipment behind the backside, then whose fault is that? Do you need anybody, say government authorities, to put a ban on something for the, and the ban is not going to help you protect?
But here's the thing, Byron. Every Wi-Fi thing that's come into this country has to go through an FCC qualification. Everything.
And how do you get an FCC qualification?
You have to register it and you apply for it. But that's the thing.
And pay the application fee.
But right. But here's the thing. It's not just now. It's been this way for 20 years plus years. It's not something that they're just implementing now. It's something that's they're telling you that, hey, there's stuff coming down the pipe. We're worried about it. We've got a weird relationship with China right now. We got a weird relationship with Russia right now. We got a weird relationship with everybody right now, honestly. And that's the thing is, I don't think it's just a cash grab. I think it's something. There is something out there that keeps trying to slam into these networks because. If you go compare our technology advancements to somebody like China, we're 20 years behind.
Let me ask you this.
Or Japan.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
All right. I'm just going to throw names out. TP-Link. Sure. Where do they make their routers at?
Everything's China.
Okay. So where they
Eero was the only one that wasn't. Eero was the only one that wasn't in China until Amazon bought it. Thanks, Amazon.
Where are they going to make their routers now?
China.
Okay, so where is Netgear going to make the routers?
Don't know. Probably China.
Where is Cisco going to make the routers?
Probably China.
Dell.
Don't know. I didn't know Dell made a router.
My whole point is that these companies, they don't have any type of manufacturing plants to make these things here. So
Eero did until it was mass produced by Amazon.
Okay, but that was back then, right? So this
was in the last 5 years.
Okay, so where are they making them now?
China.
Okay, so my point is, how come they can't make them here?
There's no reason they can't.
Okay, because they don't have the infrastructure.
Well, they did.
Who?
Up until Amazon bought them.
Who?
Eero.
Okay.
Eero was owned.
Out of all the companies,
Eero was a
Cisco
that was also a California company. Eero was.
But where did Cisco making their stuff at?
It's all greed.
But my point is that there's no infrastructure to have that stuff here. If there was, then they would have.
No,
they wouldn't have.
But that's not how that works. What it works is, I can make a widget here that costs $30. And sell it for $80, I can take that widget to China and make 30 of them for $30 and sell them for $120. That's what happened. It became
I understand the economics of it.
right.
But my point is, and just going back to like, cell phones or TVs or anything like that, like there's no infrastructure in place for these companies to be making that. And even if they decide that they're going to be making this stuff here in the States, then they got to spend the money to create these warehouses to make this stuff. Then they got to hire the people.
But they
and
have
then
that.
Designed in the United States, produced in China.
What?
That's
That's
exactly.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I know, but Era wasn't.
But it's designed in the United States and produced in China. My point is,
Well, it's the same thing. Go look at. Well, let's change the gear. That's something that's not router related. Bowers and Wilkins, for instance. Bowers and Wilkins was made in the UK. It was a UK speaker. It's been a UK speaker for 60 years, up until Best Buy picked them up. The second Best Buy picked them up, they moved to China because it was based on profit. It was based on margin and profit, and they moved their production. Even the 800 series, yes, I said it out loud, I'm not supposed to. Even the 800 series says Global Ship China on the screen when you order a pair of 800 series speakers. They still have a facility in the UK where they could make them. They make the Nautilus there. That's the only speaker they make there is the Nautilus. So, but it doesn't mean that they haven't. No, what it meant is when they move production over there, they make more money. And why? And what company wouldn't want to make more money?
And that's understandable, right?
Yeah.
People are going to do what they want for their own business. I can't tell them how to do it. You can't tell them how to do it. But the thing is that if you're going to be, implementing this type of ban, like, and I get it, right? Then what's the backup plan? Where are they going from there? I'm talking more as
I think there's not one of those companies listed that's not going to go through that qualification to be sold in the United States. In fact, most of them are doing it via firmware update. I mean, it doesn't mean that your current Eero router is not going to work anymore in a year. It just means that if they can't update those things via firmware to meet new standard, then you can still use it. It's just that you may be vulnerable and susceptible to other things. And so now if it's a government facility, then you got to pull it. You have to pull the plug. It just like they did with the camera stuff.
They have, some of the smartest guys there that can figure this out as far as security goes. So, I mean,
they're going to do it because why wouldn't they? We supplement 30% of their damn income over there.
The easiest way to figure it out is just all you critical devices, air gap them.
Yep.
Do not talk to the outside world. Just
how did you describe a hacker the other day? You said there are 3 types of
They are white hackers, gray hackers, and black hackers.
So
white hackers are the good guys.
So are you which one are you?
I plead the fifth.
He's a neutral.
White hackers are the good guys, the ones that companies pays to do penetration testing and see can they break in their systems and the whole. Well, obviously black hackers is what black hackers is. And the gray hackers are the people who straddle the line.
They're the ones that they hire. The gray ones are usually the black ones that get hired to be gray ones, but then they struggle. They're like Batman. They're like a vigilante.
Our former black ones who decided to go white, but just can't fully cross the line.
So here's
not a redemption arc.
So here's the thing. For the listening audience, there's nothing you need to worry about right this second. Nothing's happening right now. Like with your current router, it's one of those things that and this is the thing, anytime they bring a new Wi-Fi device in this country, it must go through that broadcast radio frequency, it must go through FCC certification. It just must. Now,
so why bring it up?
Why bring it up?
Not us and
because Engadget's the one that's been blowing it up. Verge has been blowing it up. There's 5 different technology articles, the big technology groups that are bringing it up. how big of a deal it is. I don't really see it as a big deal, but I'm just trying to humor the paranoia that's out there that, my router's going to stop working. No, it's not going to stop working. It's not even going to stop.
They're not having a Y2K moment.
Right, exactly. Okay. We're not even, it's not even going to stop working if they can't update it, or they don't. If Eero decides, screw you guys, we're just going to go sell our crap in Russia, China, and Japan.
If it stops working,
screw you, America. We're not doing it. Then they can, and that's okay. But your stuff that's in America is going to work. They're just not allowing new things to be brought over unless it meets those qualifications. And they're trying to enforce it on current things that are out there to meet those security qualifications. So that's all it is.
I want to know
if
about the
it's not
colliding
working.
Black holes there, Ian.
Do it.
Say what?
The colliding black holes.
Oh, you're talking about this viral thing that seems to be going around on every platform that's out there. Apparently in August, I think it's about August the 12th.
That was a segue, by the way.
Yeah. There's going to be something to do with two black holes, gravitational wave overlap that's going to cause the Earth to lose gravity for 7 seconds. And I mean, this is the biggest load of conspiracy hogwash I've ever heard. You can't just lose gravity with, black holes, and there isn't a black hole near enough us to cause any kind of.
Where did this come from?
Well, apparently NATO knew about, not NATO, NASA knew about.
Was it the Space Force announcement or something?
Can you imagine taking a leak and you using gravity seconds?
You just search 7 seconds gravity. Yeah, well, they're talking about.
Here's the thing: you're laughing now, but if it actually happens, Ian's gonna be like. I tried to tell. Dear God, what was that? It sounded like a damn horse that just went off the microphone. No, it's just you're gonna laugh now, but if it actually happens, everybody's gonna be like, "Man, I shouldn't have laughed. I shouldn't have laughed when he."
Yeah, they're floating away.
He was actually trying to.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's hogwash. Or bull.
Although that would be fun.
All right, so
I'm going to look it up.
Look it up, please. So going from the router ban. So I got to spend a day with a hacker, and it was
interestingly. Just quickly, I went into Google and typed in the number 7, and the first thing that came up was 7 seconds of no gravity. That's how much it's like
listening.
Yeah.
No, it's totally listening to you. If you think that,
I think he's talking more like more people are looking into it.
Well, no, it's probably. I'm telling you, yeah.
Hey, I got a good test for you, Ian. If you want to know if the government listening to you, get on a phone conversation with Justin and use the word chemical warfare or mass executions numerous of times.
Stop saying things like that on a podcast.
Numerous of times, and let's see what happened when the two dudes in the black suits start knocking on the front door.
Yeah, my FBI agent already listens to me enough. So.
I think if something,
the two dudes that knock on the door and one of them goes flash.
I think if something like that were actually going to hit, it's going to be technology based.
NASA shuts down that viral claim, but that was a month ago they said that. But apparently for weeks they've been flooded with these breathless warnings.
I'm sure
Earth will briefly turn off gravity.
Don't worry about it. AI gonna fix it.
So true. Yeah, go listen to the computer that's wrong 70% of the time. Yeah, no. So I got to spend a day with a hacker. His name's Jarvis. He's not really a hacker. He's a videographer, but he's kind of what I would call a baby hacker.
White hacker.
No, he's so funny though. He was so fun.
We're all hackers in our own way.
Well, it's true. He had this thing called. Well, that's what makes this funny, and actually, it's a testament to Eero, which kind of goes with the router thing. So he had this thing called the Dolphin IO Flipper. Yeah.
Flipper Zero.
And this thing is bad to the bone. Like, this thing can read RFID cards. It can see GPIO. It can see key fobs when you hit the key fob button. It can see all kinds of all kinds of things, all kinds of things that are floating around in the air,
And
when people hit their buttons and things like that.
I've seen countless. I mean, I
So-
talked about this last year, I think. I mean,
Right.
In
But I've never
season
seen one.
one.
I never saw one in action.
I mean,
and this
people are sat in airports with them, and they're scanning people's
Yep.
card,
He
RFID
unlocked-
cards.
Okay, what is this
and-
again?
he unlocked the van with it.
Yeah.
He unlocked the van. He unlocked the van key, because what you do is you wait until somebody's walking out and they hit the button on their car, or they hit the button to lock their car. It catches that RFID and then downloads it and clones it, and then you can go hit the button. Okay. So here's the
Was that FCC approved?
No, I thought
no, and
they-
it's on Amazon, by the way.
I thought
There we go.
I thought last time
Also
we,
Chinese.
last time we spoke about them, I thought they were actually banned from
You
sale.
can buy one on Amazon right now.
Yeah, but that was a year. That was a year ago, season
Right.
1. But it's not just that one device. You
No,
see
there are
people,
cards that-
people plug cards in with multiple
yeah.
antennas that can read other spectrum
So
Wi-Fi type.
he had
things.
one.
Yeah,
He had one. And so he had the card he plugged on the top of it. And so what this card does, and it's actually pretty interesting, and I got to watch it in real time on the backside of the router side of it, because I was watching what it was trying to do. So it was a cool experiment. And again, he's an awesome guy. He loves technology. He's just a geek. One day we're going to have him on he wanted to be on he was like, man, I would love to be on the show. He's just a total tech nerd, but he's an incredible videographer. He's actually put a couple movies on Netflix already, and he's a producer and stuff like that. And in fact, I saw him today. He was at the event that I was just at. And so here's the thing. This is the funny part about it, is I got to watch what he was fumbling through and trying to do. And he goes, I can hack into your Wi-Fi network. I said, okay, try. Let's do it. Yeah, because I got on my laptop and I got on to Eero Insight and I was watching it. And so what this little device does is it basically broadcasts your SSID with the same routable gateway and pretends to be your gateway. And then as your devices start seeing this thing, they start jumping on this fake network. And once it jumps on the fake network, then you can do whatever the heck you want. You can control things, you can get into things, you can get into computers, you can see hard drives, you can do all kinds of things because it is acting like your router. And so Eero didn't like that. So I was watching its back and forth conversation with Eero. It jumped on, Eero kicked it off. It jumped on again, Eero kicked it off. And that's how he, what do you call that, Byron? What is the terminology for that? Something that just keeps testing and hitting and hitting and hitting the firewall.
The actual term is brute force.
Yeah, so it's using brute force is what it's doing. It changes it, does it again, changes it, does it again, changes it. So about the 8th time it tried to do this, I get a text message on my phone that I've never seen before from Eero. And it says something, we have a suspicious device on your network. Would you like to proceed to let it on the network, or would you like to kick it off? So I ignored the message and it kicked it off again. And about the 3 or 4, so this is about 15 times in that it had already tried to, it would come up and go down and then come up and go. What's cool about it, and I'm kind of excited to even talk about it because it's just kind of interesting to see the other world of that. And it tried to label itself as a Cisco device, and then it tried to label itself as a ring, and then it tried to label itself as something that it could kind of see that was on the network. It tried to label itself as a savant piece, and then it tried. So it was just, this thing was smart enough to see things it couldn't get on yet, but it was scanning other things on the network to where once it was trying to manipulate Eero to a point to make it let Eero, so Eero would automatically accept the device, and it started to try to clone other devices on the network so to get through into that gateway. And then once it got to the gateway, it would become the gateway, and then everything would hook up to it. And so I waited again, and then about 4 or 5 more attempts, it popped up again. And then I showed him, and I was like, here, I'm going to hit no. So it kicked him out for good. Like it totally kicked it out for good. So Eero was actually very hard to break into. So I had a TP-Link router in the back. I was like, well, let's try it with a different router. So he brought another router up, was TP-Link. He was in that thing in 30 seconds. Didn't try to kick him out at all. It was just in. That was it.
Was that router set up for any type of security?
It was set. Well, so it had TP-Link that would also broadcast Wi-Fi, and it had standard WPA2. It was standard WPA2, all this stuff, and how it works is it acts like it's the router name, and then eventually, because I put my phone on that network and a couple other devices just to play with it, and he was in it within about 30 seconds. So TP-Link was crap. There was another one that was the Nighthawk, the Netgear Nighthawk, which is, I had an old one in the back, just in my bone pile of crap that was back there. Brought it up because I know Nighthawk is popular, and a lot of people use Nighthawk. And it took him about 15 attempts to get into the Nighthawk, but he finally did. But Eero was the only one that I had here because I didn't have more to play with. Eero was the only one that kicked him out. Like Eero was the only one that just kept kicking him to the curb, So that's a testament to what those guys do at Eero. So, and then I was like, man, let me see this thing. I want to play. Let me see. Because I was just like, this is just cool. Now, when you hand that device to someone that knows what they're doing, because he doesn't. He's just a kid with just playing with it. No, and he'll tell you. He's like, man, I'm just now learning with this stuff and just kind of playing around. But when you hand it to somebody that knows what they're doing and they know technology and they know how to manipulate it, I was turning off TVs. I was changing the temperature on my thermostat that isn't on Wi-Fi. So it got on the Lutron RF low band frequency, which is supposed to be a hidden thing. It got on the Lutron frequency and it was changing within a matter of 5 minutes, I was into anything I wanted to be into because I knew what I was doing. And that's the thing is I was like, man, this should not be sold in the United States. So the other thing that it does do is it can actually, it has a built-in blocker that it can scan the area for people that have those in their pockets, and because all you have to do is have it in your pocket. You just set up a macro to record RFIDs if it gets close to your wallet. So if you're not carrying a wallet with an RFID blocker, you are nuts.
Bluetooth.
I wouldn't even carry my debit card in public.
No.
After seeing this thing.
No.
Like it was nuts.
I don't have nothing to worry about.
All right, I gotta listen. All right.
Because number one, if you hack my debit card, I guarantee you gonna run me down and come give it back.
I thought you were going a totally different direction on that.
No, I have nothing. They got so many negatives running around that mug. You're gonna be pissed off. Like, I wasted my time trying to hack this and ain't nothing here.
So, but what it does is it can actually simulate the RF readers at gas pumps too, even the tap pay. So, because the way it works is when you put even your credit card, hold it close to tap pay, the RFID chip was actually a more secure way than tap pay, because tap pay, your info is in the air for a second, and that's all it takes. All it takes is a half second for this little thing to pick that information up and grab the data from it.
That's why Apple's Apple Pay use tokens.
Yeah.
They don't use your real.
Samsung TV uses tokens too.
They don't use your real information. They have agreement with the banks that accept Apple Pay, that Apple Pay card. So they have their two-way handshake conversation, and then the bank issue them a token. A token is like a certificate in the computer world, and that certificate either expires on a certain date and gets renewed, or it can be like a Microsoft licensing key that has to go out and contact a certain server every so many days and come back. And if you don't contact it in that many days, then it deactivates. So Apple was kind of like ahead of the game before it started. So which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's once again a testament to Apple. But I thought it was just it was insane the amount of how vulnerable you are to technology. It had GPIO, it had gate control, socket gate control picking up. So if you see somebody opening their garage door, it can capture it.
But
you had talked. Can you talk about a little bit of that? Because you had
that's
talked about the garage door thing.
I want to say 82, because garage door now use what they call roving codes, and it doesn't send the same code every time. So when you press your garage door, it sends a code, a roving, and those roving codes changes. Like when you program a new remote, you have to have the remote and the opener together. We say back in the day, you used to just set dip switches for the brand of remote, but you have to have the remote. You have to hit the learn button on the garage to open, and you have to go and set it in your car, and you hit it 3 or 4 times until it catch, because every time it's in a different code. It's a different code. It's a different code. And that's to combat that's used somebody standing on the corner of your house and just catching your code on a device and then come back and open.
But your cars aren't safe.
No.
This thing can read. This thing
don't do is roving code.
He unlocked Gavin's 2026 Ford pickup.
But you know the
with this
ones,
thing.
the cars that's going incorporated the Apple digital key, they're going to be safe. Because, again, they're using tokens.
It's Apple again. Yeah. That's so, no, I just thought, yes, the things are real. Yes, it's out there. Yes, if this thing is in the wrong hands, it can do whatever. Again, I have never held this device in my entire life, and I was doing stuff with it within a matter of 10 minutes, less or less. And I had no clue what I was doing, but I just know technology. I understand it. I understand how it works. I understand communication.
So the number one stolen vehicle today is the GMC 3/4 ton truck. It takes a total of 3 minutes to steal that truck.
Yep. Without a doubt.
And they're using the same type of device.
3 minutes, man. Those guys are like...
No, it does it that fast. Because what they're doing, they are sitting in the parking lot where there's a truck. And all they wait for, they follow you to a parking lot. They wait till you pull in the parking lot. They wait till you get out of your truck. They wait till you hit the door lock button. As soon as you hit that door lock button, that code goes in the air. That thing catches it. And they don't even have to be ready for you to do it. They can just sit in the parking lot with this device to scan. And every now and then it'll say Honda, Mercedes, BMW, GMC, Dodge, and it'll and then you just go look for whichever one. And all you do is once it learns it, you hit the button until you see the taillights blink. And you're in the car.
My next door neighbor caught him on camera. They stole his truck out of his driveway. It took him 3 minutes.
It's insane. This device does not need to be allowed.
To unlock the door. And then when they unlocked the door, they popped the hood and disconnected the horn. And then they closed the hood, got back in the truck.
I'm telling you, it's real. It's real, and I saw it. It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it. And all this technology, this wireless technology that you're using, Ring cameras, Ring doorbells, Wi-Fi network, unless you have that shite locked down, then you're not safe.
Well, devices like Alexa, you can't lock them down because that voice goes to a third-party site in the cloud, and which is recorded in the cloud to be decrypted.
So does Siri.
And then sends that digital information back down to the device.
Like that Apple Watch. One time I had an Apple Watch that I was wearing like that, and I was glancing. I caught movement out of the corner of my eye, and I looked down, and it was literally doing word for word everything I was saying, and don't know why. It was just kind of catching recordings and things of what I was saying, and I saw it. It was a script going across my wrist of every.
Yeah, you probably managed to activate talk to text on a message or something.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, somebody was late, like super late today. So I got an early day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to cut out.
You can cut out. It's fine.
Oh, don't be mad.
I'm not mad.
Oh, yeah, you are.
No, I get to say whatever I want now.
You started off mad.
No, you just made me mad because I said it was one of the best. One of the best.
You can only have one, though.
One of the best. No, I said one of the best. I didn't say it was the best.
Is it number 2?
It was one of the best. That was
If it was number 2, it would be absolute.
shit. Oh, sorry. There we go.
There you go.
There we have it.
This is a fun conversation. Although I do have a quick question.
What do you got?
About so you were talking about how they would go through and they would, hit the key fob,
Yep.
lock the doors and stuff like that.
Yep.
So how does that work? Do you think it would work with like proximity, right? So like let's take my vehicle for example. I never use the key fob to lock it. I always touch the door to lock it.
Smart.
Right?
Yep.
That's just what I do.
Yep. Nope, smart.
Imagine.
Yep.
So is there going to be any type of interference with that? Because I mean, you have to be close
That's
to the vehicle in order for you.
Phenomenal question, and I would say no because that technology is based on your key being in your pocket and you touching it and it sensing the key is close
You still have
to the vehicle.
You still have some type of communication
Yeah.
because it has to detect.
I don't know. The answer is I don't know with that because the proximity of that remote. I mean, you can be standing in front of our store and you could be parked next to Ashley Furniture and hit the button and it would unlock a car, right? As you're walking to the car. I would assume it's the same thing.
Well,
I don't know.
so-
That's a great question though. It'd be funny to explore.
The here's the thing is like, so if we went to my vehicle right now, if I'm standing inside the store and then you go and try to unlock it, you won't. So you could keep trying to unlock it until I don't know how many.
You have to be
feet you have to
pretty
be.
darn close.
I think you do. I think you have to be pretty close, maybe within 2-3 feet.
Yeah, you
of the
have
door,
to be
maybe? I don't
really
Yeah,
close.
because this lady in the office, she got a BMW, and when we go to lunch, she never drives. So we go on Thursdays when we go to lunch, we walking past her car, and as we
Hey, you
walking,
mean you take her to lunch?
No.
Oh, that's right. I can't say anything. You took me to lunch the other day
and
because he stole an ant from me.
when she walks by the car lights blink and unlocks. But when she walks out of range, then it locks itself back.
Yeah, I think that's also I've
But that's a gem module auto lock. That's not an RF pulse coming from something. That's the computer saying, "Oh, it's unlocked."
but it's
We're gonna lock
it's
it.
a
But it's
proximity
detecting
thing.
it's detecting the fob in her purse though.
Right. So
Oh,
so
yeah, I guess.
but the thing
so.
is that you can I've rented cars that had that feature and you could just go and turn them off. So to have an auto lock unlock, so if
Right.
you're coming close, but it's also a safety feature too because I mean there are times when if it's late at night and they're walking to their
So
car.
how does one protect themselves, hacker boy?
Yeah,
Like, what do you?
I'm gonna have to listen to the rest of it because
You
So
need
the-
to.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's fine.
The
Yeah.
question is this though: you say
Goodbye,
protect
gentlemen.
yourself. What are you protecting?
Goodbye, Raymond.
You're protecting someone from stealing your vehicle. That's the ultimate goal.
Well, no, I'm just saying, how do you protect yourself? Because I mean, this thing reads tap pay, it reads door locks, it reads
Let's take them one at a time.
jumps on your Wi-Fi, it
Tap
jumps
pay.
on goodbye, Raymond, and he just shocked the living out of himself on the door again as he's blessing the door on his way out.
So let's look at tap pay.
Oh, somebody's got to follow him because we got to lock him out.
I will
All right, so
perform those duties.
Ian. Okay, so Ian's going to perform a duty.
Why can't I just press a button and do it from here?
Well, that's true because somebody would hack the door and then they would have
No,
access
let's
to
look
the
at
store.
Let's take them one at a time.
All right.
Let's look at tap pay.
What?
You have Tolken.
Oh,
You use Apple Pay, which is use tokens.
right.
Okay.
So that's the token. So does Samsung. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, Samsung. So that's that scenario, the debit card scenario is out of the picture
Right.
right now. From a vehicle standpoint, the only thing you're protecting your stuff is from them stealing your vehicle, right?
Right.
Okay. Old school, the club.
Oh. Wow. That is not as sexy of an answer as I wanted.
But it works.
That is a very rudimentary, but it works. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, okay, so that's what if you protect them to steal your vehicle, that's it. I mean, so what else we protecting?
Yeah. Unless you have a kill switch somewhere. Kill switch would work too.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah, old school. But I mean, so that's card, vehicles, electronic locks on, say, your house or whatever.
It's just as penetrable.
Yeah, but you can turn the digital key side off and just use the manual lock.
True. Deadbolt.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes it pays to be able to draw the blinds yourself
Right.
instead of controlling them.
Case in point, when NASA first went in space, they wanted to take notes and write, but
Yeah.
by space being anti-gravity, they had the ink wouldn't flow out the pen.
Yep.
So they spent millions of dollars trying to design a pen to work in space.
Okay.
And one smart engineer came out and say, well, why don't y'all just use a pencil?
Now, RFID cards, you just don't carry your wallet with your debit card, or your credit cards or whatever.
But think about it. Your debit card is not functional unless you have the PIN. So
Okay.
a 4-digit PIN is 10,000 different combinations.
right.
So if someone takes the time to
The someone doesn't have to. The thing would do it.
do what they thing grabs the card number.
Well, it grabs the card number.
But it doesn't
grabs the small data on the back, the little QR, the
Right.
number on the back,
But it doesn't have
the
your PIN.
RFID. But that's just another hack. You know that.
But it doesn't have your PIN.
Nope, not yet.
And how does it get your PIN?
Well, you can teach something to get the pin.
Well, you got
You may not be entering the numbers, but it could have a machine that's going to
yeah,
practice
but you got
entering the numbers.
10,000 different combinations on 4. So again, I get it. It's not say it's
You can-
impossible,
you-
but the life of a hacker is you put enough barriers in place to discourage them and
Right.
to move
Well,
on.
that's and that's kind of what happened with the Era router. Is it just said nope.
I don't think
Nope.
you need the PIN number for a debit card in every situation. I mean, in some places you can get away with a zip code.
Again, you still got to have that too.
Well, if you use your
but
but if you use your
if you
use it online, you don't. Like if you're using it for Amazon, you don't have to use a PIN.
Because it's already in the Amazon's
No.
database.
Well, but if you're,
In other words, when you enter a card in Amazon database,
they're not going to ask you. They won't ask you for a PIN.
No, I know that.
Like Kaleidescape,
But
if
what
I
I'm
put my
saying-
card in Kaleidescape, it's not going to ask me for a PIN number.
I
we
just think
compare.
debit cards are a completely bad idea. It's your bank
It's your-
balance in your pocket.
It's
I
your
mean,
bank information. Yes. No, I agree.
Well, here's an example. So I used to pay my cell phone T-Mobile bill by credit card because they gave me an auto pay discount. So every month it would take the money, but it would take it off the credit card. But obviously T-Mobile were then having to pay 3, 4, 2%, whatever they paid the credit card company. So they changed the rules. If you want to get the auto pay discount, you have to pay with a debit card. But I'm not giving T-Mobile my debit card number for my bank account because they can just pull the money out and they could pull out what they want whenever they want.
But anybody who has that information can.
So I set up a T-Mobile money account, which is nothing. It doesn't have to be T-Mobile, but set up a bank account with a different bank and give them the debit card number for that bank account. But I only transferred enough money to pay the T-Mobile bill. But it's all automatic, so I'm still getting auto pay discount.
Right. So the whole key in the ethical hacking world is when it comes to debit card, you use that debit card account to funnel to pay bills. It's not a savings account. You keep the least amount of cash you need to have in that account to do whatever you need to do. You don't treat, and that's the biggest thing, you don't treat a quote checking account like a savings account. That's the mythology behind it. So debit card, you have a debit card you use to pay your bills. If your bills is $3,000 a month, you keep $3,500 in there. Once your bill's paid, you got $500. But some people want to keep thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in their checking account, which they treat it like a savings account.
Right.
And that's not the whole intention purpose of it. But
Well, some people get penalized for taking things out of the savings account, which is why
True,
they
but
don't keep
also-
it in the savings account.
But don't get misconstrued. Just because you have a debit card tied to your checking account, you're not 100% safe.
Don't get it twisted.
Your banking, your financial sector of the United States is the most critical hack division of the United States.
I'm just trying to work out if he said misconstrued.
Well, hey, you know what? It kind of works.
Yeah.
Even if he said, I kind of like misconstrued. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, because back in the day, The financial sector.
Put it in the Samsung box.
The financial sector was the bar for security. I mean, everybody wanted something. The banks and all had the best security, which was true back in the day. But now it's not the case.
Nobody has the best security.
Well, it's not a matter if your network.
Which is why we have a router ban. No, it's not.
It's not a matter if your network get broken into. It's a matter.
Anyway, that was interesting. I went out to lock the door, and it was already locked. And I thought, how
did he do that?
How did he do that? And then he walked up behind me. He'd gone into another room by mistake.
I guess he could have gone out the back door.
No, he went in the bathroom.
No, because you can go out the back door.
But I'm trying to work out, how did he lock the door from the outside?
Yeah, no, that would have been only Raymond could do that. All right, so Disney pulls out of artificial intelligence and costs Sora. I think it's Sora $1 billion. $1 billion.
Well, no, they had to pull out because OpenAI or whichever, I can't remember.
They got shut down, or didn't?
No, they decided to shut down this video AI thing. So whatever it was that Disney were going to do, they couldn't do anymore, so they had to pull out. So it's like...
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know the backstory.
No, they decided to shut down this video generation AI thing. It's ChatGPT people, isn't it?
Probably, I think.
Sam Altman, OpenAI, whatever. That was who.
Nano Banana.
No, that's the Google one, or was something to do with Google, but it seems to change on a daily basis.
That wasn't nearly as eventful to discuss as I thought it was going to be.
Well, it was just like... yes, we'll take your $1 billion, but we can't give you anything. Well, Disney,
here's the balloon. Well, I'm just deflating it. Yep.
Yes, I think the AI balloon will burst at some point. And
I think it will.
And then hopefully we can kind of get back to normal when they stop building all these AI data centers.
Bringing that up, apparently Bernie Sanders and whatever her name, Cortez is, I'm not going to butcher her first name, are
AGC.
actually trying to do just that. They're actually trying to pass a bill that halts all data center production and modifications.
But where's that going to go? I mean, it's all going to get... We'll get too political, but currently the Republican Party has a hold on both the Senate and the House, so it's never going to get passed.
They will until November.
Yeah, I said we're not going to get political.
Yeah, no, but it's... I think...
Therefore you are.
I think they're both. I think both sides would be in agreement on this one. It just, to me, the creation of data centers are obnoxious.
Yes,
they're absolutely obnoxious. They're a strain on resources. They create pollution.
They're a strain people's electricity bills up.
It's what I was just about to say. Exactly. They're a strain on the electrical grid. They're a strain on the water grid to cool all of these things. And it's
interestingly enough, though, Arizona turned down a proposal where they were going to build an AI data center powered by solar power.
Mark Zuckerberg just built one for Meta that's powered by natural gas. That he's building one that's going to be natural gas.
Natural gas is finite.
Right.
Solar power is more finite. Is not as finite.
Right.
It is still finite.
So, I don't know. This one may actually pass unless it's just laced with a bunch of BS that doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
If it's just about data centers, I don't know. I think both sides are in agreement that this is a giant resource strain. I think both parties are afraid of artificial intelligence on both sides. I think there's a general concern. Bernie Sanders has been the number one, I would say, spokesperson that's anti-AI.
Yep.
And has brought up a lot of fear campaigns about it. You sent me a video not too long ago, and I listened to it. And I don't like Bernie Sanders. I can't stand him for other reasons, but he brought up a lot of good points on that video. And to me... a lot of these technology discussions, whether it be the router ban, whether it be the security ban, whether it be the AI, what's going on with these AI data centers stuff, if you can leave the politics left or right on the table and just look at it for what it really is and what they're trying to do, then it can be easily discussed. Because to me, artificial intelligence hasn't been good for society. It's not good for children. It's not good for people that are, I don't even want to say rely on it. I want to say addicted to it. And the other thing is, when you're using this thing from a position of authority, it's wrong most of the time. It's not accurate. If you're talking about math equations, money, measurements, things that can't change, things that can be calculated, it's great. But if you're talking about specific data, about specific topics, the fact of the matter that it's using Wikipedia to scrape a majority of its information, Wikipedia can be manipulated easily, and we kind of gotten into all that. But and that was just touching on that topic about the Bernie Sanders and Cortez.
Well, I've got, I'll have to look it up. I watched one with, I don't watch them very often, but I saw another Bernie Sanders. He was doing like a one-on-one interview with,
I saw it,
Claude GPT or whatever it's
saw it,
called.
Claude, yes.
That was just like, whoa.
Right. And here's the other thing about it. In the problem with a lot of these, what they're doing, and here's the thing, and I'm being transparent, I would say the same thing if it was actually somebody that I did like, and they were doing that. It's showing you the extreme entity of what's going on, and it's not, and I know why they're doing it. They're doing it to show what the slippery slope is. The problem is they're not explaining it that way. And when they don't explain it that way, that's what creates the caveat, because then the people that don't know better, just like the people that don't know better on the other side of the equation, take that one little tidbit and they treat it like the tablet of stone coming down from Mount Sinai. You know what I mean? It's just like they think it's gospel, and it's really not. Those videos are provocative. They're designed to make you think. And I do believe certain job aspects are in jeopardy. I think graphical artistry is in jeopardy. I think people like that like to draw and things like that are in jeopardy. That like to create are in jeopardy. Like people that used to do logo design and stuff like that. That market's gone. It's just that's there's no reason to do it anymore. And so people that used to make money that way, I think there's a job security problem there. I think I saw an article that Amazon is actually moving into humanoid robots to move things in warehouses, drive forklifts, get things off shelves, things like that are doing those things. So to me,
Coca-Cola has been doing that. Coca-Cola whole warehouse is ran by robots.
See, there we go.
And I mean, it's been there for years, but it's a different kind of robot. It's not AI influenced robot. It's PLC controlled robot.
Right. No, and that's what it is. There's a warehouse district in California that there is a certain section where humans are not allowed past a certain line, because it's heavy machinery that are moving these giant containers about. And if a human does and every now and then they have to go across that line to check a machine that's malfunctioning, and the whole dock shuts down, like the whole thing. And so to Bernie Sanders' point, and again, I'm not an advocate. I don't care. that's creating a situation that's costing employment for people. And I want to say there was and this is not a statistic he brought up, but it was 57,000 jobs were in jeopardy from the prior year. And they're blaming it on artificial intelligence and things like that. So my thought process behind it, I don't understand that number, gentlemen, because if you have a variable that's wrong more than 50%, then how does it affect anybody's job security? You know, because the problem with a lot of these artificial intelligent things is it can't think logically, or it thinks logically. It can't think. It doesn't have logic and emotion.
It can't think at all.
It can't think at all until a human tells it what to do.
Right.
Yeah. No, exactly. So, the point was before you left the room that Bernie Sanders and Cortez are trying to pass a bill through the Senate to try to get these data centers stopped, to try to get them shut down, and that basically stating that AI is not good for society. I don't really disagree with that.
But 90% of the data centers that exist in today are virtual. We don't have the.
So explain that. What do you mean by that?
So typically speaking, back in the day, a data center could be 5,000 square feet. People on roller skates with tape backups and everything else. But in virtual, you cut your data centers down to less than a quarter, and all those servers, the rack of servers you have are all virtual servers now. So you got physical hardware, where back in the day, physical hardware was 1-to-1.
So Byron, when people are saying data centers, are they referring to cloud? Are they referring to AI storage, or is it all the above?
It's all the above.
All the above. Okay.
Yeah, because cloud, even though they say cloud is not in the cloud. Cloud is data centers that gives you access from anywhere that you have an internet connection.
So, Ian, you had something you wanted to bring up about cloud storage.
Yes,
and going into that. What?
A friend of mine was asking my opinion on cloud storage for backup and data storage, whatever. So I kind of gave a quick upfront, like I said I don't really like cloud for these reasons. Because I don't think your data is going to be safe. But I said I'll do a little bit more research, and if you need something, I'll see what I can find. So I started looking into it, and I've actually found a couple that seem to actually address a lot of issues that might make me even comfortable using them for backing up data. As you know, I had a computer crash.
I was going to say, you were experimenting with that with pictures right now.
Well, pictures I've got backed up on 2 NAS drives and in the cloud. So and even they're all on a MacBook Air now as well. So I've got even another copy. So, but in terms of documents, data, the really important stuff, my computer crashed. At the end of the day, the newest backup that I had was a year old.
Right.
So I'm having to recover stuff, and I'm doing it because I had a backup of emails, so I can I can recover email documents either that I had sent or received, and rebuild that piece of my data that's missing. So I thought I had a backup in the cloud because Norton, which I use their 360 product, has a backup feature. And I thought it was being backed up, but it turns out it wasn't working. I wasn't getting messages to say it wasn't working. I just didn't bother to check it and thought, okay, it's backing up or it's doing a incremental backup every week. But apparently it wasn't, so I'm basically screwed when it came to that year of missing stuff. Except for all the other avenues to find it. Anyway, so
through your research, you found...
So I looked up what the current state of Norton backup is, and people are complaining because the Norton backup, I think they give me, like it says it's 100 gigabytes of space, which is quite a lot, but if it doesn't work, it's not worth anything. Yeah. But Norton 360 backup used to allow you to back up to a local drive, and it doesn't do that anymore. And it just turned it off, and people didn't know it turned it off, and so they So anyway, looking at other products, iCloud is an obvious one, but if you're in the Apple ecosphere,
which 90% of the people out there are,
not for this person I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about a Windows computer.
I use Dropbox.
Okay.
I got almost a terabyte of stuff.
Right. So, this was the point. I started doing a deep dive because for one thing, I wouldn't use OneDrive, Microsoft. I wouldn't use Google Drive, Google, because, they're not. There are people using your data.
But you got to look at it a different way.
No, listen.
Okay.
Dropbox comes in the same category for me as Google and OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive. They are being used for training LLMs, whether you say you want them to or not. They are being able to access your data, even though you think
everybody does that, though.
No, they don't. There are products out there, and I'll give you.
They might tell you
three.
they don't. They might tell you they don't.
I'll give you 3.
But you don't know that for 100% sure. I'm telling you, I know this. They tell you anything you want to hear, just like that document when you sign. If you look at the fine print on Dropbox.
No,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right. I'm just saying I have done research and I've looked closely into at least 2 of these 3. The first one, which I haven't done the research on the background of, but it comes highly recommended, is sync.com, sync.com. But the ones that I've looked at, Proton, which I don't know if you've heard of Proton Mail. It's a Swiss-based one, and this is where it gets interesting, right? The two that I'm talking about are actually based in the European Union, and they, by law, are not allowed to have logging on anything you do. But they also use, I've forgotten the name of it now. The encryption method, it's
ASS or SHA-1?
No. Hang on.
AES, I'm sorry, not AS.
Well, it probably comes under that heading. They have a name.
256, AES 256 bit encryption.
No. It's like 0-day encryption or something like that.
Oh, 0 day. That's
not 0 day. It's 0 something. I've forgotten off the top of my head what I found out because I made notes and I haven't got them in front of me.
But while you're looking at what I'm saying, what I want to get at is if you look at the fine print when you sign, not acknowledge the document, whatever data breaches or whatever, you're putting that company liability. That company is liable for securing your data and making your data available to you 110%. That's you personally.
Yeah, but not to anybody else.
But the point, what I'm saying is, we talking about the security of the data.
Yes.
That company, was it Dropbox or this pump? If you look at the document, when you acknowledge and sign up for it and read the fine print, it's in there. They are 100% liable for that data, and they have to print in case of a data breach what must take place.
I'm lost. What are we trying to? What are we arguing about right now?
Ray just sent me a message. He said, he goes, "I'm not done with you yet."
No,
sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at your. I'm waiting for you guys to swing on each other. Let's go. This is interesting.
I'm just trying to explain. This is the advice I have given to a friend of mine, and I have given her these 2 options. The first one.
So what I missed the differential part. What are we different?
Part is where, first of all, where the data is being stored, and under what rules and laws it comes under. But Byron uses Dropbox. I don't think there's a problem with Dropbox. I actually do use it myself, but I don't store all my documents in there. So she's asking for personal, family document stuff, but also her husband's work, and he's a, geologist or something, but, he's got lots of stuff that he needs to store, which is work-related, and he doesn't want just backed up on his home computer in case something happens.
So why not use something like Google Drive?
Because I don't think that encryption and the privacy and the security is there for
Privacy.
Google Drive.
I love
What,
that.
what encryption? What you mean when you say encryption? Refer to exactly what encryption?
Is Google Drive encrypted?
It is encrypted.
But is it encrypted?
Isn't it
Is it
two-form
encrypt-
authentication?
Yes, it's
Well,
multi-factor
it's not.
authentication.
That's
but it is
but
encrypted.
multi-factor, two-factor authentication's got nothing to do with encryption.
It is encrypted though. But okay, let me ask you this question: when you say encrypted to one point, data in movement or data at rest?
What was the last bit?
Data in movement or data at rest?
Oh, at rest, both.
Yes. So Google Drive is encrypted in data in movement.
Right.
Google Drive is encrypted on the servers at data at rest. But you know Google Drive is a folder on your machine, if you allow it to, that talks to the server.
Yes.
Now the encryption on your machine is up to you.
He's not wrong.
The encryption on the server at Google Drive is up to them. But the
Also,
communication between your machine and the server
Okay.
is encrypted.
Well, from my perspective, I don't trust Microsoft or Google or OneDrive.
Well,
or
that's
Also a valid point.
yes, I can
so
see that.
it's like, and the way she's coming to me was like, what would you use? What do you trust? And I said, I wouldn't use any of these. I would possibly use Apple iCloud, although there are vulnerabilities that can, but yes, it's still encrypted end to end and it at rest. I mean, I trust it because I use Keychain, which is the thing that stores all my passwords, and that's supposedly encrypted everywhere except on my device. I am trusting a specific platform, but in terms of data, if I was going to back up my computer to a cloud drive, what would I choose? Is what she's asking me. So the two that I've come up with. The first one I mentioned is Proton, which is Proton Drive, and they're the same company that came up with this Proton Mail, which is supposed to be a more secure email platform. And because they're based in Switzerland, so they're not necessarily subject to this country's laws of having to divulge things. It's like if the federal government went to Proton and said, we want all this person's emails, it's like they'll say, you can't have them because we're not in your country. I don't know if that's how it works, but that's the idea. Right. But they also, I knew about Proton Mail beforehand, but they also do Proton Drive, and they have some fairly attractive storage prices. But after I'd looked at that one, I found one called Internext. It's like NXT is the name. And their servers are based in Spain, so they also come under the EU laws about logging and encryption and everything else. But the interesting thing about their way of doing it, they have multiple data centers, but they don't store your data, any one file of your data in any one location. They've broken it up and they call them shards. So your file goes into their system, it breaks it up into several pieces, and it stores bits of it in different data centers.
Better than a short, I suppose.
Yes. So anyway, that's the one I'm kind of recommending.
I want to bring a point out.
Yes, sir.
Backups and online storage is handled in two different methodologies. 90% of backups, the software that backs up, when it transfer that file from your machine to the server, that is an encrypted file. You don't treat backups like you treat online storage. You know what I'm saying? So say Norton's backup. If you're going to back up Norton from your machine directly to the server, that communications is in there and is encrypted.
Yes, and I understand what you're saying. That's a backup.
Right, but so I just want to differentiate between backups and storage. It's two different mythologies and handled two different ways.
It's an
But
online,
a backup goes to storage.
Yeah, exactly. It's
No,
online
but I'm saying
storage
is-
of your backup.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
As
I can
opposed to local.
I can back up my machine to the cloud using, say, hypothetically, Norton's backup. But online storage of Google Drive and OneDrive is different from the backup side, is what I'm trying to
So
point
here's why I don't like any of it. You ready for it?
Yeah.
I gotta pay monthly for it. It's like, here's why I don't like any of it, because it's, again, it seems like every flip person out there
Yes.
wants to $10, $15, $30, $50 me to death, and they know what you're gonna do.
But how valuable
Here's the thing.
how valuable is your data to you?
Do you have a storage unit? Do you have a storage unit?
Well, I don't have a storage unit. I pay for a storage space because I keep trading.
No. Do you have when you have too much shit in your house?
No,
Do you
I
have
used to. I don't no more.
Okay, but when you used to, right? Did that stop you from buying more shit?
No.
No. Okay, and eventually that storage unit gets full, right?
Right.
And again, but now you got to get a bigger storage unit, and a bigger storage unit is going to cost more money. Apply that to this cloud situation, and this is what bugs the living snot out of me. It's like everybody wants to pepper you with the RMR.
It's two scenarios here. Number one,
Even Apple.
the cloud situation serves two purposes. Number one, how valuable is your data? If your value is valuable enough that you want access of it 24/7 and you want to need it when you need it, that's one thing.
Right.
Number two, what cloud does is a convenience. It gives you access to your information anywhere you got a wire,
Right.
a connection.
You don't
now,
have-
if you don't back up to the cloud and you back up to a physical media
Right, like a hard drive.
which at some point that physical media is going to fail.
Absolutely. You're not wrong. But at some point their physical media is going to fail.
But-
like, what makes their media any better than your media?
Because
They use a RAID drive?
They use virtual logic drive, top-notch equipment. But that's not the key. The key is not, your job is not to worry about that, because you paying them and you shifting the liability of protecting your data from you to them.
Well, the job of a tire company is to make tires out of rubber. But the day that rubber fails or the tire fails and I have a blowout,
In the fine print, they tell you, if my data center breaches or if my data center fails, we will do X, Y, Z, this and that. We will do this. It's all spelled out. It's just that us as consumers, we don't read it.
but right, terms and conditions you agree to, because
Right.
you just want to use your damn toy.
We don't read it. And they tell you, now corporations have what they call SLAs, service level agreements.
Right.
So if for us, we have a server levels agreement for all the applications on the process control network. And that server levels agreement says if we have a interruption of service, you got 72 hours to restore my service, or you got to pay us X amount of dollars for every day that service is not restored.
Okay.
That's the service level. But the terms and agreements that we sign for cloud storage and backups is the same scenario. They spell out what they're going to do. And whether you agree with that scenario or not, then that's your part.
There are not penalties, but there are things that are not going to be best for either your own local backup storage or an online cloud backup solution.
Sure.
So my recommendation to her and to anybody else who wants to know
Is it a RAID drive, or
No.
what would you do?
You can go down that road for your local backup. I mean, Buffalo make quite a nice little local, it's like a NAS drive, but it's more for
I got the Western Digital NAS.
Yeah. So you do local backups, and you do the cloud ones, because you should have at least two backups.
At least. But now this is the catch two in. It's okay to back your data up every month, every day, every time. But if you never do an exercise to restore that data, it's useless to you. Because the first time you have a failure and you go to the backup to try to restore from a backup and it doesn't work, then all the efforts you put to get that data backed up went out the window. So once a year at least you should have some type of exercise that you restore from backup.
Yeah.
First of all,
When I started in the business, we had a computer that had hard drives that were
Yeah, it was just a giant server.
they're bigger than dinner plates. They were
Right.
in a plastic housing, and it was like a big metal oxide disc inside the housing. Do you know how much data that disc could hold?
No.
5 megabytes.
Dear golly. And now you can put terabytes in your pocket.
we used to
Like
have a
this.
computer that had 2 of those drives, so you had 10 megabytes running on exchangeable. You could take them out and swap them out, and the same spindle had a fixed drive underneath of another 5 megabyte drive, so total 20 megabytes.
Did they use thick Ethernet? Was it thick Ethernet out then?
Ethernet wasn't even invented.
Yeah. So the first version of Ethernet was they called thick Ethernet. The cable was like a 3/4 inch round cable.
Dear God.
Yeah, anyway, but what I'm saying is those discs,
Was that a punch card machine too?
they were stored, yes.
Where you had to use the punch cards?
Yeah, the discs were stored in a fire safe on site.
Right.
But we had another fire safe off site, and we used to do the back up the data that we needed onto that disk, then put that one in the local fire safe, and the one that's in the local fire safe got shipped down to the other location and put into that fire safe, and the one that was there was brought back to be the next usable disk. So we had a rotational thing of 3, and that never let us down. We ended up doing it with tape drives, and in fact they brought out the next disk drive that they brought out was actually 12 of those 5 megabyte disks stacked on top of each other, so you had a 60 megabyte disk that was in a container that was that tall.
So we kind of do the same thing with our control rooms. We call it a cold backup site, warm backup site, a hot backup site. So it depends on the criticality of the plant. We'll have a control room that's known as the hot site, that's an exact duplicate of the plant control room.
Yep.
So if something happens to the plant there, you can't go in the plant. You can go remote and still run that plant from the hot backup room. The warm backup room is a version of that control room, but it doesn't have the full function. It only has the critical equipment needed to run the plant. And the cold backup is just an empty room in a location. You got to bring everything with you when you go.
So from a personal perspective of somebody like a home computer user who wants to do a backup, who wants to make sure the minimum is to copy something onto a local backup hard disk, or flash drives, or even make DVD copies if you've got a DVD writer, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, is that enough for you? You've got to do your own risk analysis and say...
So that's the question I was going to say. The first question you got to understand is, how valuable is your data?
Yep.
You can't spend $10,000 trying to protect 1,000 hours worth of data. That's not good sense. So you have to understand, how valuable is your data to you? What are you wanting to back up? If you just want to back up the machine to where if it crashes, you ain't got to spend 20 minutes or 20 hours trying to restore it, then that's one scenario. But if you got valuable information that you want to try to back up, that's a whole another scenario. So the first step would be to understand, how valuable is your data to you? Mm-hmm. And then that is going to determine the method of backup, how often you back it up, and where you back it up to. Justin didn't tell you the other day he was moved into the 21st century, huh?
Yeah.
He used Apple Pay.
Thus endeth my topic.
Endeth with your topic? What's your topic?
That was the end of my topic.
Oh, that was the end of his topic. So storage. Bernie Sanders hates data centers. I hate Bernie Sanders. Ian hates everybody else.
I don't.
I'm just messing with you. Messing with you.
Well, as everybody, I don't know. Does everybody know?
Ray's pissed because I said Top Gun was one of the best movies of the decade. Was that what I said? I don't remember. But I'm just going to pick on Ray because he can't defend himself now. Byron's wife keeps buying movies. Does anybody else have anything? Oh,
We didn't talk about Z-Wave, so...
You want to tiptoe into that for a minute for next? Kind of give everybody a sneak preview of next week, or
we can carry it for. We can table it till next week.
Table it to next week. So no, Ian discovered a long Z-Wave's working on some new things called long.
They've actually been out for a few years now, but it's just something that happened to pop up. There's a company called AEO Tech. They're big into Z-Wave. In fact, I think they
own it now.
They bought.
Yeah, I think they bought it
from.
Yeah.
I've forgotten all.
So they're working on some new toys, and then
the long range stuff. It's a different frequency, but it can give you
800 feet, right?
Up to 1.5 miles.
Jeez,
that's good and bad also.
Why is it bad?
He's going to say because it's insecure.
There we go. Back to Mr. Humdrum. No silver lining.
By 1.5 miles, it means it's outside of the house.
Oh,
so anybody could do war driving and hack it
with the flipper.
Z-Wave is not hackable. It's blockable, jammable, but it's not hackable because you have to be on the latest version, the 800 series.
Byron's got a smirk.
He's going to smirk. He hasn't installed Z-Wave.
Anything is hackable, Ian. Nothing is 100% safe. Anything is hackable.
So I will concur with Ian on this one. Concur with Ian on many things, but this thing. So Z-Wave has to go under a certain security protocol before it can be released as safe.
The problem is
anything that can do door locks, garage doors, penetrable windows, blah 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 blah, gates must go through the FCC qualifications and security qualifications to be deemed safe. It doesn't mean it's not hackable. It just means it's really hard to do it.
Byron's right. It's hackable. It depends on what level, because Z-Wave has gone through various levels. Probably the better one was Z-Wave Plus, but now there's the Z-Wave Long Distance, or LDZW. But if you've still got Z-Wave devices from way back when, like when Schlage brought out those first ones, that they're going to be, I think, on the Z-Wave 100 thing. But the rest of it's backwards compatible. So if you can hack into the early ones that are still on somebody's system, yes, you've got to do, again, it's risk analysis. You've got to check the vulnerabilities, look at all your devices. If they're not up to date, if they're not all at least 400 or 800 spec Z-Wave, then think about replacing them. But we'll get into the rest of that next week.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good I think it's a good stopping point. Yeah, I'm interested in what you have to say about that, because I thought Z-Wave was kind of a dead thing. You know, I thought Z-Wave, and I know Zigbee. I think Zigbee's dying quicker than Z-Wave. Right?
Z-Wave's still one of the most popular in the world.
Okay. Interestingly enough, Z-Wave is one of the most popular in the world. Byron actually has Z-Wave. He had to buy a lamp dimmer to make his stuff in his garage work.
No, just 2 repeaters.
I know, but that's still Z-Wave.
But you call it a lamp dimmer. It's a repeater.
It's a lamp dimmer. It's a lamp dimmer. It's a lamp dimmer. You can call it tomato, but it's still a damn lamp dimmer. I love you guys, except for Ray. He's on my poop list. But, no, he's not. It was just funny. For all the audience members that are sensitive, Ray and I still like each other, kind of. So
he told me he doesn't.
They join at the hip. There's no separation.
That's true. All right, we will see you next week, and that's a wrap. Ian, take us out.
Where am I going to take you to? Oh, my new cat. It's called Roxy.
Oh, he's got a new cat named Roxy. After the show, going to be show mascot, and then Byron's going to do his later thing. Go for it.
Say hello to my little friends. See ya.